Alright, my friends, buckle up for a wild ride. Today's tale is none other than the timeless classic The Three Little Pigs, but with a Greyland twist. Get ready for a whirlwind of adventure, trickery, and a whole lot of bacon.
Oh boy, I can already smell the drama. Hit us with your best shot, Grey.
Let's see if you can make this old story interesting.
I'm always open to a new interpretation of a classic tale.
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
Now this ain't your grandma's bedtime story, folks. This one's got a bit more bite and a whole lot of bacon. So get around and let me paint a picture of a land not so far away, where three little piggies lived with their mama Matilda, in a cozy little cottage tucked away in the woods. Matilda, a wise old soul with a heart full of love and a sprinkle of sass, had raised her piglets Porky, Piggy and Percy to be independent and resourceful. But as they grew older, their dreams got too big for their old house, and they couldn't wait to explore the world beyond their mom's apron strings. Porky, the youngest, was a carefree soul who dreamed of a life filled with mud puddles, sunshine, and chasing butterflies. He envisioned a simple straw house where he could relax and play all day long, surrounded by nature's beauty.
Sounds like my kind of pig. Lazy days in the sun are the best. What's wrong with a little relaxation, right? Maybe he could even add a hammock to his straw house for ultimate chill vibes.
Piggy, the middle child, was a fashionista with a flair for the dramatic. She longed for a charming house with a beautiful garden where she could entertain her friends and show off her impeccable style. Her dream home would be a reflection of her vibrant personality, filled with colorful flowers, whimsical decoration, and a wardrobe fit for a queen.
Oh, Piggy sounds just like me. I love throwing parties and decorating everything. We could even design some fabulous outfits for her and her friends. Imagine a pig fashion show in her new garden.
Percy, the eldest, was a practical and clever pig who valued safety and security above all else. He dreamed of a sturdy brick house that could withstand any storm, where he could protect his family from harm. His vision was one of strength and resilience, a home built to last for generations.
A wise choice indeed. Safety should always be a priority. But perhaps he could also add some hidden compartment. Maybe a library filled with books on architecture and engineering.
One sunny afternoon, as Matilda dozed in her rocking chair, humming a sweet lullaby, the three little pigs gathered around the kitchen table to share their dreams. "I'm tired of sharing a room with you two snorers," Porky exclaimed. "Hey, who needs a personal space when you can have fun with your siblings? They can build a giant pillow fort together instead of separate houses. It's time we build our own homes and live the high life." "Yes, of course," said Piggy, excited. "I need a place where I can express my creativity without you two messing it up."
All the drama. I can't wait to see how this unfolds. Maybe Piggy can design some fabulous furniture for her new home, using her sewing skills to create unique pieces.
Percy nodded thoughtfully. "A wise decision, my siblings. We're all grown up now, and it's time we ventured out on our own." Matilda, awakened by their chatter, smiled knowingly. "My dear piglets," she said, "I've been expecting this day to come. You're all capable and strong, and I know you'll build wonderful homes." But Matilda, being a wise old soul she was, didn't just send her piglets off into the world unprepared. "Remember, my dears, a house is only as strong as its foundation. Choose your materials wisely and build with care." Porky, the carefree piglet, was all about living in the moment. He quickly gathered a pile of straw, humming a happy tune as he worked, and in no time his little hut was complete. It wasn't much to look at, Just a simple structure with a thatched roof and crooked door, but Porky was thrilled. He had his own space, a cozy haven where he could indulge in his favorite pastimes, napping in the sun, splashing in mud puddles, and chasing after butterflies.
Oh, Porky, you should have listened to your mama. She's always warned you about being hasty.
But Porky, with his head full of sunshine and laughter, paid no heed to his mother's warnings. He was too busy enjoying his newfound freedom. Meanwhile, Piggy, the stylish middle child, was hard at work on her dream cottage. She carefully selected each stick, choosing those with the smoothest bark and most vibrant colors. She wove them together with intricate patterns, creating a charming little dwelling that resembled a fairy tale cottage. Piggy spent hours adorning her house with wildflowers, fragrant herbs, and sparkling stones she'd collected from the nearby riverbed. She hung wind chimes from the eaves, their tinkling melodies adding to the enchanting atmosphere. Inside she fashioned a soft bed out of moss and feathers, a miniature vanity with mirror made of polished stone, and a cozy reading nook with a collection of her favorite books.
Sticks? Really? That's not going to hold up against anything, Piggy. But I have to admit it does look rather enchanting. Maybe she can use some stronger branches for the frame of the house, like oak or hickory, and perhaps some clay tiles for the roof to keep out the rain.
But Piggy was too caught up in her creative vision to worry about practicality. She was determined to create a space that reflected her unique personality and love for all things beautiful. Meanwhile, Percy, the eldest and wisest of the three, was hard at work on his masterpiece. He spent weeks surveying the land, carefully selecting the perfect spot for his brick house. He studied architectural blueprints and consulted with wise Oliveira about the best construction techniques. Percy meticulously planned every detail, from the thickness of the walls to the angle of the roof. He mixed his own mortar, using a secret recipe passed down through generations of pig builders. Day after day he labored tirelessly, his trowel flashing in the sunlight as he laid each brick with precision and care.
Maybe he could even add a moat or drawbridge for extra security, or a watchtower with a telescope.
Wait, Grey. This story about houses reminds me of something silly my little brother said the other day. Can I share it?
Of course, Ella.
He asked me, what did the house say to the roof?
What?
You got me covered.
That's adorable, Ella. It reminds me that even though the pigs' houses were different, they all had roofs to protect them.
As the three little pigs worked tirelessly on their homes, a dark shadow fell upon the land. A big, bad wolf with a ravenous appetite and a heart full of trouble had caught wind of their delicious scent. He licked his chops, imagining a feast of tender piglet, and set off on a quest to find these unsuspecting victims. The wolf, a master of disguise and deception, approached Porky's straw house with a sly grin on his face. He donned a charming smile and a friendly demeanor, hoping to catch the carefree piglet off guard.
Oh no!
Yes. Sweet little pig, please let me in. I'm cold and tired, and I just need a place to rest. Porky, ever the trusting soul, swung open the door without hesitation. Hello there, Mr. Wolf. What brings you to my humble hut?
Oh no, Porky. Don't let him in. Maybe you should have installed a peephole in your door.
But Porky, blinded by the wolf charm and eager for company, had already invited him inside. The wolf, his eyes gleaming with predatory hunger, wasted no time. He lunged at Porky with sharp bare teeth, but the little pig was too quick for him. He squealed in terror and bolted out the back door, leaving the wolf to tumble headfirst in a pile of straw. The wolf, spitting out straw and cursing his clumsiness, picked himself up and gave chase. Porky ran as fast as his little legs could carry him. He reached Piggy's stick house, breathless and terrified. "Piggy, let me in!" he cried, banging on the door with all his might. "The wolf is after me!"
This is so suspenseful. Oh, Piggy, please let him in. Maybe you can distract the wolf with some of your delicious cupcakes or offer him a cup of tea.
Piggy, ever the kind, compassionate sister, didn't hesitate. She flung open the door and pulled Porky inside just as the wolf came crashing through the front yard. He pounded on the door with his massive paws, his voice booming like thunder. "Open up your squealing sausages!" Porky and Piggy huddled together in fear, their voices trembling. "Not by the hair on our chins."
That's a classic line, but maybe they could have tried to barricade the door with some furniture or something.
The wolf, enraged by their defense, took a deep breath and blew with all his might. The stick house creaked and groaned, its fragile walls straining under the pressure. With another mighty huff, the wolf sent the house tumbling down in a shower of splinters and debris.
Phew, that was close.
Porky and Piggy, coughing and sputtering, scrambled out of the wreckage and ran towards Percy's brick house.
That wolf may have won this round, but I have a feeling he's in for a surprise when he reached that brick house.
They could hear the wolf's heavy footsteps behind them, his growls echoing through the forest. Percy, ever vigilant, had been watching the scene unfold from his watchtower. He quickly lowered the drawbridge and opened the heavy oak door, ushering his siblings inside. "Quick, bar the door!" he yelled, his voice filled with urgency. The wolf, panting and snarling, arrived at the brick house and demanded entry, but Percy, calm and collected, stood his ground. "You can huff, you can puff, all you want, Mr. Wolf, but you'll never blow down this house." The wolf, frustrated and hungry, paced back and forth in front of the brick house, his mind racing with wicked schemes. He tried scratching at the walls with his sharp claws, but they barely left a mark. He rammed the door with his shoulder, but it wouldn't budge.
Well, I'll give this wolf an A for effort. But maybe he should try a different tactic and try digging a tunnel under the house?
Desperate, the wolf decided to try a different approach. He climbed onto the roof and attempted to squeeze his way down the chimney. But Percy, anticipating this move, had already placed a large pot of boiling water at the bottom of the chimney. The wolf tumbled down the chimney, his hindquarters and tail scorched by the boiling water below. He flew out of the chimney and landed heavily on the ground. In shock and broken, he lay sprawled on the ground, whimpering in agony.
That's what he gets for trying to mess with the 3 little pigs.
Hooray for Percy! That's what I call a happy ending.
The 3 little pigs, who'd been hiding under a table, cautiously approached the injured wolf. "Don't move," said Percy. "You're hurt badly. We'll get you some help." Porky fetched water and bandages. "What's her name?" Piggy gently examined the wolf's wounds. The wolf, surprised by their kindness. "Walter." Just then Matilda rushed in the room, her heart pounding with worry for her babies. Her eyes widened in shock as she saw the scene before her. Her piglets, instead of cowering in fear, were tending to the injured wolf. "What in the world are you doing?" Matilda cried, her voice trembling. "He tried to hurt you." "We know, Mama, but he's hurt. We can't just leave him to suffer. Besides, Mama, haven't you always taught us to help those in need? Matilda's anger melted away, replaced by a mixture of pride and confusion. Her piglets were teaching her a lesson in compassion, even towards someone who had wronged them. The wolf Walter managed to sit up was filled with shame and regret. "I'm so sorry," he croaked. "I never wanted to hurt anyone." Matilda sat beside him. "Then why did you try to eat my kids' water?" I was taught that pigs were easy prey, and they were nothing more than food. My pack, they encouraged me to be ruthless." Matilda's heart ached for the wolf. He was a product of his environment, a victim of misguided teachings. But you're not your pack, Walter. You have the power to choose your own path. "You think so?" "Of course," exclaimed Piggy the youngest. "You can be good if you want to be." Walter closed his eyes as if weighing his options. Then, with a newfound determination, he said, "I wanna change. I wanna be better. But I don't know how." Matilda smiled warmly. "We can help you, Walter. We can teach you the importance of building bridges instead of destroying them. And maybe even a few houses while you're at it." And so the wolf redemption began. Walter slowly shed his old ways, replacing fear and aggression with trust and understanding. He learned to use his strength for good, helping the piglets build stronger homes and protecting them from other dangers lurking in the forest. Walter learned to control his instincts, to value life, and to embrace the joy of helping others. The villagers who'd initially been wary of the wolf gradually warmed up to him, and in the end they realized that even a wolf once lost to the darkness could find redemption and become a cherished member of their community.
Oh, that's so sweet. It's like a heartwarming rom-com but with farm animals.
One crisp autumn evening, the village gathered for a feast under the harvest moon. As the aroma of frosted vegetables and apple pie filled the air, stories and laughter flowed freely. Walter, sitting beside Matilda, shared tales of his travels and the lessons he'd learned. He said, "The world needs truth, not harm, to build a better future." The villagers who'd once trembled at the mere sight of the wolf found their fear replaced with admiration, their hearts warmed by his honesty and wisdom. Well, I'll be darned, that wolf actually turned out to be a decent chap.
Indeed, it appears that compassion and understanding can bridge even the widest of divides.
Imagine the possibilities. A village where pigs and wolves coexist peacefully, throwing fabulous parties and fashion shows together.
Hey guys, did you hear about the pig who was an artist?
No.
Well, he was a real Picasso. All of his paintings were just a pigment of his big imagination.
That's a good one, Frank. Even pigs can be creative, just like Piggy in her beautifully decorated house.
Exactly, Moss. Creativity comes in all shapes and sizes. Wow, that was a lot of excitement.
That was a great story, Gray. I feel like I could use a little rest now.
Me too, whoa. Whoa, all this talk for huffing and puffing and house building has me ready for a nap.
I think I'll just close my eyes for a few minutes.
Ew. Even the most diligent of pigs need to recharge their batteries. Sometimes, you know?
Even super brave piggies need a rest sometimes. So let's take a deep breath together. And let it out slowly. Imagine you're floating on a big, fluffy cloud. The sun is warm. and a soft breeze tickle your fur. You're safe and sound, drifting away from all your worries. Can you feel the cloud bouncing gently beneath you? It's like a big marshmallow bed. And listen, do you hear the birds singing? They're singing just for you. Isn't it peaceful? Until next time, little piggies, may your dreams be sweet, your hearts be brave, and your friendships forever strong.